What makes a good football manager? Getting the right players? Yes!
No way! Yes! Come on!
Decision making? Are you sure? Wheeling and dealing? Nah. Relying on star players. Listen, don't let me down, you know. At the end of the day, it's about getting results, man.
Yes!
Listen, this player's on a madness. Open packs, collect players, pick your team, and crush the competition. You think you got what it takes? This is next level fantasy football. Ultimate Fan. Build your legacy. Download the app today at ultimatefan.com. I'm killing it.
Hello, welcome back to episode 5 of the Ultimate Fan Fix, brought to you by Ultimate Fan and presented by Beer 52. The first international break of the 2021-22 season is almost over, and the return of the Premier League is nearing ever closer, meaning a further £8,500 will be given away by Ultimate Fan ahead of game week 4. Joining me once again are Ultimate Fan contributors Tom Pearce and Reece Charlton. How are we doing, lads?
All good, thank you.
Yeah, all good here. All good.
Good stuff. Obviously, the World Cup qualifying round for England obviously coming to an end this week. Action starting once again on Saturday at 12:30. We'll start with a game week 4 preview, if you like. Tom, I'll come to you first. I suppose one of the biggest games on paper this weekend is Arsenal against Norwich City. A lot of pressure on Arsenal to get a first win on the board for the new season. With 0 and -5 points respectively, the pair are the worst performing Ultimate Fan sides so far this campaign. Who would you rather be supporting here, and who's the pressure on more, would you say?
I mean, I'd say the pressure is definitely on Arsenal more because they'll be favourites going into the game. They've got a good record against Norwich in sort of the last eight games against them in all competitions. They've won 6 of those as well. I mean, both sides have had a tough start. You'd probably say Norwich was a little bit tougher. They've both lost 5-0 to Man City at the Etihad. Arsenal should have the quality to get all 3 points, but you know, it's Arsenal, isn't it? It's never really straightforward with them. If Norwich can force Arsenal to start slowly, maybe even nick a goal early, the Emirates will likely turn. Could become quite toxic, and if Norwich start brightly, then it could be a tough afternoon for Arsenal.
Yeah, I think the first goal in this game it is pivotal. I know it's a term that's thrown around a lot in football. I think, as you say, Tom, if Norwich can sort of silence the crowd early on, it could be a bit of a volatile atmosphere at the Emirates. Although if Arsenal to score first, the confidence rises, and you might find that it could be a fairly comfortable afternoon for them. But we shall see. Reece, £130 million spent, and not one player from the Gunners features in the top 20 best performing Ultimate Fan player positions after 3 games. That's obviously across defence, midfield and attack. Despite criticism of being underfunded in the past, does the buck have to lie with Mikel Arteta should this unfavourable run of form continue?
I mean, it's not the worst ever start to a Premier League season, but it's definitely down there. All the promise they showed at the end of last season with the results they picked up, that's all gone to waste now, and it's been, all down the drain for them. But Arteta just needs to accept responsibility in my eyes. I mean, keep saying trust the process. It's just a cop-out for me. I mean, you can't just keep saying that when you've got bad results. It's not the way forward, and I will give him the benefit of the doubt because there is a lot of a dead wood and rot around Arsenal at the moment, and it's causing to have knock-on effects. But some of the signings didn't make any sense for me. I mean, Tommy Ashley they signed on deadline day. I mean, they've just spent 50 million on Ben White, and they're then buying another centre back, and then Ramsdale. He's in the England squad. He played he's a good shot stopper, but you know he's got a horrible relegation record. Which why would you want to take a gamble on that? But the results against Norwich and Burnley are absolutely vital. If he does not pick 6 points out of 6, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets the sack.
Yeah, pressure certainly on Mikel Arteta this weekend. I think it's probably fair to say that Arsenal representation across Ultimate Fan teams won't be too high this weekend, particularly if Arsenal don't pick up 3 points, as you allude to. Reese, Tom, I'll come back to you. Just another talking point. Obviously, one of the stories of the season so far has been Brentford's unbeaten start since their promotion from the Championship. They're the best performing base card for a team with Ultimate Fans so far this season. Is Ivan Toney now the player to follow? With a goal under his belt in game week 3 against Aston Villa, and another sort of fairly winnable game on paper against Brighton and Hove Albion this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Brighton themselves have looked sort of tough to beat so far. They're unbeaten. They would have. I mean, if you asked any Brentford fan for the season, if they would take 3 games unbeaten to start the season, they would have snapped your hand off. But Ivan Toney, he was quality in the Championship last season, wasn't he? 41 goal contributions all season, with 31 of them being goals. And he took his goal really well against Villa. He showed that you can't really give him any space in the box, because he will punish you. And I think he'll get at least. Well, Brentford in general will get at least one decent chance against Brighton, because they've conceded 3.5 expected goals so far this season, which obviously just over one per game, which shows that Brentford will likely get that chance, and if it falls to Toney, then you wouldn't be surprised if he sticks it in the back of the net.
Yeah, Brighton looking to obviously bounce back from that defeat to Everton, but picking up 6 points in their first 2 games against Burnley and Watford prior to that. Let's move on to our teams ahead of game week 4. Reese, I'll come to you first. Speaking of Ivan Toney, he's back in your side. You've got Harry Kane up there as well, who's sure to be fit and firing for Spurs after a successful international break. And Kai Havertz as well has to be one of the US players to keep on side now, following that fine goal against Liverpool last time out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite happy with my team this week. I mean, Ivan Toney for me, his dual threat potential is really appealing. Like, he will get some chances up top. He get those shots on target points, and he could easily have the tackle points as well. He's not shy to get in a bit of trouble and a bit of bother. So, I think he could be key this week for my side. Harry Kane, get that goal on international duty. I know it's Andorra, but sometimes just getting a goal just can boost your confidence and push you back into form, and I feel that could help this week. And I mean, facing Crystal Palace, I mean, they're not the strongest side in the league, and they put up a good performance last time out, but I think Spurs will be too much for them. And Kai Havertz as well, he's come back into the frame. I mean, he didn't start the first game against Crystal Palace, and he's now made himself more established in the side, and obviously getting a goal last time out as well has made himself a bit more noticeable as well. So yeah, I'm quite happy with my team. I think this could be a really good week for me.
And Tom, Jamie Vardy in your team, he scored in 2 of the first 3 matches so far, and he's the 6th highest scoring Ultimate Fan striker to date. He's got a very creditable record against Manchester City as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, I packed Vardy on Monday, and I had to get him straight in the team, so I needed a goal scorer really. But he's just been such a consistent scorer throughout the past sort of 6-7 years, hasn't he? Is he 34 now, and he's started the season well with 2 goals, as you said. And yeah, he's got a good record against City, especially sort of more recently. He's got 9 goal contributions in the last 10 league games against them, and 8 of those were goals. And he's also got 4 goal contributions at the King Power when City have visited. So it wouldn't be that surprising if he was involved in the goals this weekend.
Yeah, he scored 2 hat-tricks, I believe, against Manchester City, which is exactly a statistic that too many strikers would boast against a Pep Guardiola side. So, of course, if you've packed Jamie Vardy like Tom, make sure to get him side ahead of this weekend. I packed a different team to Southampton. Luckily, I managed to get Tottenham, who obviously are the best performing team, full stop, with 8, 3 goals, 3 clean sheets, and 3 wins. I've also put in for Everton after their clean sheet against Brighton. They, of course, host Burnley on Monday. I suppose the rest of my team sort of very remains the same. Bruno Fernandes has my captaincy. Alan St. Max Van scored, as did Kai Havertz, and Rafinha as well, with a fine record on home soil for Leeds United. No Cristiano Ronaldo, sadly, in my teams, but many players, I'm sure, packed him ahead of game week 4, and Manchester United's tie with Newcastle. Speaking of which, lads, we'll move on to our match predictions and players to watch ahead of game week 4. I must say, I have to allude to the fact that in the top 10 Ultimate Fan Team special that myself and Tom did earlier this week, I made reference to the fact that Tottenham hosted Crystal Palace. Of course, it's at Selhurst Park, so apologies for that. Tom, so I'll come to you first for this one. 12:30. The first game to kickstart game week 4 is the Eagles against Spurs. How do you see this one going?
I think you'd be silly not to look at Spurs. They've started the season really well. 3 wins from 3 1-0 wins as well. Palace have struggled to score as well. I mean, obviously they got the 2 goals against West Ham, but West Ham haven't been exactly sort of strong defensively this season. So it'll be a completely different test for Palace this weekend. Spurs are also unbeaten in the last 12 games in the league against Crystal Palace, which is some run. And last season's game ended as a draw at Selhurst Park. And it wouldn't surprise me if it was like a tie game again this weekend, especially with, as I said, with Spurs' sort of record in this season with the 1-0s. So I'm going to go for Spurs win, and then my player to watch is going to be Son. He started the season well. He scored the winner against City. He scored the winner last time out against Watford. He's got 7 goal contributions in 11 league appearances against Palace as well. And he's currently sitting 11th in the Ultimate Fan Forwards ranking. So he's done all right so far. And potentially it'll be amongst the goals on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, Spurs fans will be delighted to hear that, and of course, extend their win streak into game week 5 as they take on Crystal Palace, the first game of game week 4. Next fixture, Watford against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Reese.
I mean, it's quite a tough fixture for both sides when you look at it. Watford really need a result after back-to-back Premier League losses, and Wolves have had 3 1-0 losses to all top 6 sides. I mean, they had a really rubbish run of fixtures to start the season off. So I think Wolves, they'll finally, get themselves on the score sheet this week, and I think they could actually win it. I'm going to go with 2-1 Wolves, and my key player is going to be Trincao for Wolves. He's had 8 shots, 5 of them been on target, made 4 tackles. He's going to pick up a couple of points here, and it's only a matter of time before he scores. He looks really exciting, so he's going to be my player to watch this week.
Yeah, Wolves lost their first 3 games, but Reece backed them to pick up 3 points here at Vicarage Road. Brentford against Brighton Hove Albion. I can see this being a tight game, as we spoke about before. I'm going to go for honours even in West London, 1-1. And the aforementioned Ivan Toney is my player to watch. He scored 3 games into the campaign last year, and then went on to score 6 in his next 3. Of course, the Premier League's a different level, but I think you'll find that the floodgates may now open for Ivan Toney for the Bees. Arsenal Norwich, we've already discussed it. Tom, match prediction and player to watch.
I'm going to go with an Arsenal win. I wouldn't surprise if Norwich did sort of pull off an upset, you could say. But yeah, I'm going to go for an Arsenal 2-1 win, and then my player to watch is going to be Bukayo Saka. He's only played against Norwich once, but in that game he scored one and assisted. And look, it'll be full of confidence. Like coming back off the England camp. So yeah, my player to watch is Kayo Saka.
Yeah, scored against Andorra as well for England. Manchester United against Newcastle United, Reece, and the expected return of Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, I think this is a straightforward result. I think it's Man United win all over. United's depth is frightening, and obviously, as you know, I'm not a big fan of Bruce Ball, so I think it's going to be a straightforward 3-0 win for Man United. My key player, there's no surprise here, is going to be Cristiano Ronaldo. He's had 11 goal contributions in 11 games against Newcastle. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes himself known on this fixture. So, yeah, Ronaldo's my player to watch. 3-0 United.
Plenty of people who back Ronaldo be pleased to hear that. Southampton against West Ham United. Of course, in the uproar, and rightly so, of Mikel Antonio, Saeed Benrahma, and the impact they've had for the Hammers so far, it could be easy to lose sight of other players for West Ham so far. But Pablo Fornells has accumulated 31 points and is the second highest scoring ultimate fan midfielder after game week 3. And he also registered 2 goals and an assist versus the Saints in two fixtures last year, although both games Southampton failed to score. So for that exact reason, I'm just going to give the Hammers the edge here again, get back to winning ways. I wouldn't be too concerned with the fact that they drew against Crystal Palace and Southampton, who, of course, yet to win. Equalised late on against Newcastle when it looked like they would leave Tyneside empty-handed. But I don't think it's going to be too straightforward against West Ham here, back on home soil. I'm going to just give David Moyes' side a 2-1 edge, and I expect them to head back to East London with all 3 points. Tom, Leicester City against Manchester City, the 2016 winners against the reigning champions in the East Midlands.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a close game, I think. I mean, it's been pretty even in the last sort of few fixtures. Leicester have won 3, while City have won 4 the last 7 meetings. But Brendan Rodgers already got one over on Pep this season when Leicester won in the Community Shield. But look, City didn't have the best side out that day, so it's not something that you sort of want to read too much into it. But City have won the last 2 at the King Power, and Leicester have been quite poor defensively this season. They've conceded over 6 in expected goals in 3 games, which isn't great, and it's not something you want to hear when you've got Man City coming to play at the weekend. So I'm going to go for a Man City win, 2-1, and then Kevin De Bruyne as my sort of player to watch. 2 goals and 4 assists in 11 games against them. He's back in contention to start. He'll want to get off to a good start as well. He's only played 10 minutes this season. I've just got an inkling that he'll be involved in some way or another.
That's now the second player that I have in my squad that isn't in my starting 6 that you've said, Saka and De Bruyne. So I might have to have a bit of a review. Of course, Jack Grealish is the current highest scoring midfielder for Manchester City, but of course with De Bruyne still at your disposal, it's not exactly too bad for City fans, is it? Chelsea against Aston Villa, the late kickoff on Saturday, I believe, Reece.
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea are the ones to obviously watch here. 2 comfortable successes at the beginning of the season, and they really battled on to get a point against Liverpool. I mean, it just showed that nothing can faze Chelsea at the moment. And Villa have had not the worst of starts. I mean, 4 points in the first 3 games is respectable, and I think the main issue here is they're going to be missing key players. I mean, Martinez in goal. And Buendia are going to be, missed massively, and I think that's what's going to play to effect in the result. I've gone 3-1 Chelsea for a result, and I think Lukaku is going to be the player to watch, just purely because Martinez is missing. And Lukaku scored 6 goals in his last 5 appearances against the Villa, so it wouldn't be a huge shock if he got a couple here.
Yeah, Chelsea's sort of bomb-proof defence, if you like, came to an end against Liverpool, and of course be without Reece James as well, who'll be suspended after his red card for handling the ball on the line, and he is also the highest-scoring defender to date. Heading into game week 4, but of course won't be adding any more points to that. But Marcus Alonso is in second place, so one perhaps for Ultimate Fan players to keep on side as Villa head to Stamford Bridge. The sole game on Sunday is Leeds United against Liverpool. Liverpool head over the Pennines to Ellen Road. I think this could be a pretty trappy encounter. Of course, Leeds hosted the other Merseyside team, Everton, in their only other home game so far this season, and they held Everton to a 2-2 draw. And it wouldn't surprise me as well to see another share of the spoils here, though Liverpool will likely be favourites with bookmakers. They just didn't really seem to kick on against Chelsea when Chelsea had 10 men, and it looked as though the Blues were fairly comfortable, even in spite of the firepower that Jurgen Klopp's men had to hand. Just prior to the international break, and I don't think an away game at Leeds is ever easy. So I'm going to just give another share of the spoils here. I think this could be a 1-1 draw, a point for both teams, and I'm going to take a chance on Jack Harrison for Leeds United. He scored and made an assist across 2 games against Liverpool last year, and he's my player to watch once again here. And then finally, Tom, coming back to yourself to finish. Monday Night Football once again, Everton against Burnley.
I'm going to have to go Everton with this one. They've started really well, 7 points from the first 3 games. As you alluded to there, that Leeds game, it was never going to be an easy game, and they come away with a draw, and then they dispatched Brighton pretty comfortably. When Brighton came into the game full of confidence as well after winning their first 2 games. It's been an even fixture in the last couple of seasons. Both teams getting a win here and there with the odd draw. But yeah, I'm going to go Everton 2-0. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin is my player to watch. He's got off to a great start again this season. Just as he did last season, he's got 3 goals in his first 3 games. And he's also scored in each of his last 3 appearances against Burnley. So it wouldn't be a shock if he scored another one on Monday night. Yeah,
what's your kind of expectations for Everton just on that point, Tom? They're the second best performing silver card in Ultimate Fan so far, only behind Tottenham, so not exactly anything to be too concerned by. And Rafa Benitez's sort of introduction into the blue half of Merseyside seems to have been quite immediate.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he had to get off to a good start, just because of the whole Liverpool sort of connection. And he has. So, and he is a very good manager. He proved that with Liverpool, and then he proved it with Newcastle. Even though they didn't sort of, pull up any trees, he didn't have a lot of money to spend, but he still proved that he was a solid manager, and he started well with Everton. I wouldn't be too surprised if they, challenge for Europe this season if they continue the way they've started.
Yeah, clean sheet on the board against Brighton, as me and Tom alluded to earlier in the week. So important for Ultimate Fan players when your side has a very, very good, astute defensive record. That's exactly why I've sided with Luca Dean in my team. Cole Walker's actually my other defender, so of course I'll be hoping that City can keep a clean sheet at the King Power Stadium. Make sure to tune in across the week with myself, Reese and Tom for top 10 specials. We'll be giving you behind the scenes stats for defenders, attackers, midfielders, the best performing players across the season so far, as well as teams as well. Make sure that of course you have your teams up to date. Pack drops take place again next Tuesday, heading into game week 5. And lads, we look forward to speaking to you then. Tom and Reese, for now, see you soon.
Cheers, thank you.
Speak to you later.